Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I want to wish you a happy holiday, peaceful new year, whatever you celebrate. I always make my card for Christmas and for the holiday, and I always think, what will I do, what will I do? Actually, last week we had snow, and I really wanted to come in, and I wanted to do a painting of the bridge with the snow on it in the evening, but because of circumstances I couldn't, and the snow is gone. We're in New York and it melts fast usually. So I was kind of going through, looking for some of my paper. I was gonna do watercolor, out my window at home and do a snow scene, and just kind of racking my brains, what will my card be for this year? And I came across an old painting that I did. I came across this painting that I did when I was a kid. I'm not sure how old I was. I don't know if I was 12 or 13 or younger, but I remember I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I remember this. And it was snowing outside, and I wanted to do a snow painting. I wound up not doing a painting, but just kind of thinking about what my next card would be. And I decided to use this old painting. It's one of my first oil paintings that I did. And I remember doing this, and it was kind of like a gift because I did this in a class. I used to stay in the Bronx a lot with my cousin, and she told my mother that she'd send me to her neighbor who was a painter and who would hold classes on her porch, painting classes, and she had students. And I remember going there and bringing the money. I don't know if it was like $10. And I was so excited, and I had some supplies. And I went across the yard, and I went the back way into her porch, and there was the whole studio set up with other people. And she had me pick a picture. I picked a photograph from a magazine of a covered bridge. I love the picture. I love covered bridges. I've never seen one in real life at that point. And I remember later on in my life how I always loved to seek out covered bridges in Connecticut and in Vermont, and I just fascinated with them. I think they're so beautiful and such a big part of American history. And I remember painting this. When I found the painting, I remember the whole experience, being sent over there, picking my my material, the size of my canvas, and setting up. And I remember I was so excited. I did the background using a sponge, a kitchen sponge, which was a new experience for me. And I actually remember this took several sessions. And when I was at my cousin Joanne's, her mother-in-law was a painter. And I said, do you know how I made the forest? And she did. She's like, you used a sponge. I was like, yes, I used a sponge. It was like so exciting, just using like these little materials. And I remember the strokes of painting these trees and the branches. I love snow paintings, and I now realize maybe why I love snow paintings, because I painted this, and there's so much color in white. Like, I love to teach my students, and when I paint, there's so much color in white, because you have all these shadows and the blues and the violets, and I kind of remembered painting these shadows and mixing the colors in, and it was such an exciting experience. I remember part of it. I think it was summertime, but I remember painting the snow scene and loving it so much. And it was just so special. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe this is meant to be. This old painting of mine, which is covered with a little bit of nicotine, I think from my father smoking. I tried to clean it up, and I don't want to ruin it. So stop smoking if you smoke. And I just thought I would do this because it was such it was a gift. It was such, and I'm sure it informed me in my later years. And then my aunt, who was also in the Bronx, and my godmother worked for a framer, and she saw the painting, and she said, I'll get it framed. And she put it in this frame, and it was like the first painting I had put in a fancy frame, and it was just so exciting. And I really think that it influenced who I am today. And so all these little things you do for people mean a lot. It's good to share, and I'm so grateful that I had this in my life, and that I was trapped for art because I love it and I'm still doing it. And I like to share it with you, and I just wish you all a great New Year, a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's bright and filled with art.